Hi, Reddit. I'm Eric, I'm 31, and this happened a year ago, and yeah, I'm still not over it. You ever get that gut feeling something's off, but you ignore it because everything seems fine? Yeah, that was me. I thought I was building a life with someone solid. Her name was Dana. We'd been together 4 years. Engaged for one. Wedding was 6 months away. We weren't rich, but we planned smart. No crazy spending. Just two people stacking money, cutting costs, working extra. We managed to save just over $50,000 for the wedding. The plan was simple: beach ceremony, small guest list, and a killer honeymoon to Italy. Dana handled most of the wedding details. She loved it. Excel sheets, Pinterest boards, constant texts about color palettes. I handled the boring stuff: logistics, payments, contracts, vendor deposits. I was the wallet. She was the vision. Now let me back up a bit. Dana had this coworker, Josh. Tall, funny, always around. She talked about him a lot, said he was harmless. Josh is like a brother, she told me more than once. I met the guy once. Friendly, but something was off. Not flirting exactly, just too comfortable. That type of dude who acts like he's part of the relationship. Anyway, 2 weeks before this all blew up, Dana went on a girls' weekend. Said she needed time to de-stress from wedding planning. I didn't ask questions. I trusted her. That was my first mistake. But you, my dear Reddit readers, you haven't even heard the worst part. Because 3 days after she left, my buddy Marcus texted me out of nowhere. Bro, Dana's tagged in something weird. Look at this now. It was an Instagram story, posted by some girl I didn't know. Dana, in a bar, sitting on Josh's lap, his arms around her waist, and no engagement ring on her finger. I watched it 3 times. Zoomed in, froze it, looked again, no ring. Her laughing like she didn't have a fiancé at home. I didn't call, didn't text. I didn't say a single word. That night, I opened our joint wedding account. We'd both been depositing into it, but it was under my name. All of it. The next morning at 4:15 a.m., I packed a bag, grabbed my passport, booked a one-way flight, and walked out the door. Gone. No note. No explanation. Just a wiped phone, a cleared apartment, and $50,000 no longer available for her dream wedding. You probably think that's the twist. But oh man, we're just getting started. I landed in Mexico by 2 p.m. No destination in mind. Just warm weather, a hotel booked on my phone, and enough cash to disappear for a while. I didn't turn my phone on for 3 days. When I finally did, I had 97 missed calls, 120-plus texts, and voicemails stacked like a panic countdown. Most were from Dana. A few from her mom, some from her friends, all of them telling the same story in different words. Where are you? Please come back. We need to talk. But there were 2 messages that really stood out. The first was from Josh. Yeah, Josh, you're overreacting. It wasn't what it looked like. I didn't respond because I had the screenshot, the zoomed-in ringless hand, the bar location, the timestamp. The second message was from Dana's maid of honor, Shelby. She and I weren't close, but we respected each other. She kept it real. Eric, I'm not defending her, but you should know they've been closer than you think. I told her to stop. She didn't listen. There it was. Confirmation. No more guessing. No, maybe it was innocent. She'd been disrespecting our relationship way before that bar photo. I stayed in Mexico for 2 weeks. Every day, I got some new kind of message. Threats, guilt trips, fake apologies. Let's talk, I'm sorry, you're ruining my life. How could you do this to me? Not once did she say, I messed up. Not once did she admit what actually happened. Instead, her whole angle was, I betrayed her for walking away. Her family started messaging mutual friends, spinning the narrative. He stole the money. He abandoned her. She's devastated and doesn't know what to do. Classic. Suddenly, I wasn't a guy betrayed by his fiancée. I was the villain who ran off with the wedding fund. But here's where it gets better. I wasn't just gone. I had receipts. Every deposit into that account. Every text about the budget. Every confirmation that it was my name on every transfer, contract, and booking. They wanted drama? I was ready to light the whole thing on fire. But I wasn't going to reply. Not yet. No, first I needed to make one call. Not to Dana. Not to Josh. Not even to Shelby. I called the venue. And what they told me next. Yeah, you're not ready for it. So I called the venue. The same beachfront spot Dana had obsessed over for months. The place where we were supposed to say our vows. A woman named Olivia answered. Friendly. Professional. Until I said my name. Then her voice changed. Oh, you're Eric. That pause? I knew something was up. I told her calmly, I'm Eric. I just wanted to confirm the reservation under my name has been canceled. I won't be getting married. Another pause. Then she said, well, Dana already contacted us last week. She said the groom had a breakdown and ran away. Asked to move the date and keep the deposit intact. I froze. She lied to the venue. She didn't cancel. She tried to salvage the booking without telling me, using the money I pulled before disappearing. I asked Olivia, how much is still on file? She replied, 0. The balance was cleared. She said you approved it. You read that right. Dana tried to rebook the wedding using my name after I left, after she got caught, after the account was already empty. And when the venue said no, she told them I had mental health issues, that I was unstable, that I needed time and understanding. Let that sink in. This woman got caught sitting on another man's lap, and her move wasn't to apologize. It was to lie to everyone in our lives and try to run my name through the mud. At that point, I knew I couldn't stay silent anymore. She was rewriting the story, and I wasn't going to let that happen. So I came back. 2.5 weeks after ghosting, I touched down in the city. Went straight to my best friend's place. Dropped my stuff. Pulled out my laptop. And I started writing. A document. A timeline. Screenshots. Receipts. DMs. Instagram evidence. Bank transactions. Voice memos. Even text from Shelby, backing it all up. I sent it out to her parents, her bridal party, our mutuals. No ranting. No emotional paragraphs. Just the facts. Subject line. In case you're wondering why there's no wedding. It went viral. In our little world, at least. Group chats exploded. People switched sides. Friends who call me a thief were suddenly very quiet. And Dana? She lost her mind. Next thing I know, she's outside my friend's apartment, pounding the door, screaming my name, begging me to fix it, telling me she didn't mean it like that. And when I didn't answer, she did something even wilder. She tried to flip everything again, in public. She went public. Full PR mode. Instagram post with a soft-filtered selfie. No makeup, teary eyes, caption like a damn Lifetime script. Sometimes people break your heart to protect their own. I made mistakes, but I've never stopped loving you. Please come home, Eric. Thousands of likes. Hundreds of comments. People eating it up like she was the victim. Her mom commented, "You're so strong, sweetie. Real love always finds a way." Her friends reposted it. Support Dana. She's hurting. Real ones know the truth. One even messaged me. You humiliated her. You should be ashamed. Ashamed? I was gone 2 weeks. She was cheating on me with a dude she works with, lying to vendors, trying to keep a wedding going without the groom. But I'm the bad guy because I didn't fall apart publicly? Cool. I didn't reply. Didn't comment. Didn't try to defend myself in her little sympathy circle. Instead, I uploaded one photo to my private account. One post. No caption. Just a screenshot of her on Josh's lap. Zoomed in. Clear. Undeniable. I didn't tag her. Didn't name names. But the internet did the rest. 3 hours later, her comment section turned into a battlefield. People asking why her ring was off. People asking who Josh was. People digging through her posts and noticing how often he showed up in the background. Silence. She deleted the post, then went private, then logged off completely. A few of her friends messaged me again. This time, they weren't defending her. I'm so sorry, Eric. I had no idea. She told us you had mental health issues. We didn't know. This is so messed up. You didn't deserve that. No, I didn't. But again, none of that was the real ending. Because while she was busy posting sad selfies and dodging questions, I found something else. Something that made my blood run cold. A bank withdrawal from 3 days before the girl's trip. $2,500 to a hotel in Josh's name, booked by Dana, with my account. That wasn't a spontaneous mistake in a bar. That was a whole damn affair. Planned, paid, hidden, and it confirmed what I needed to do next. Because Dana wasn't going to stop. She didn't want to fix anything. She just wanted to control the story. So I made sure that story got way way bigger than she ever expected. I walked straight into my bank the next morning, printed out the full transaction history for the past 6 months, highlighted every charge Dana made, including that hotel payment, especially that hotel payment. I wasn't just being petty anymore. I was building a case. Next stop, our wedding vendors. Venue, caterer, photographer, DJ. Guess what? Dana had already contacted 3 out of 4 to reschedule or adjust plans, all without telling me, all after I disappeared. And every single one, she tried to use my name to access the contracts. I informed them formally, in writing, that I had withdrawn from all agreements. I attached proof, account ownership, screenshots, the whole package. They canceled everything. No refunds. She lost the deposits. $12,000 gone. Not my problem anymore. She texted me later that night. You're ruining everything we built. I stared at the screen for a solid minute before replying. You ruined it the second you thought I wouldn't find out. Then came the calls from Josh. Voicemails full of shaky bravado. Bro, you need to stop dragging her name through the mud. You're acting insane. It wasn't even like that. She was confused. We didn't mean for this to happen. That's when I realized they were scared. Because I hadn't even really gone public yet. Just a few people knew. Just our circle. But I wasn't done. Because there was one person left who still thought Dana was a princess. Her boss. Turns out Dana worked at a company that specifically forbids inter-office relationships, especially between people on the same team. Guess who never disclosed her little fling with Josh? Yeah, so I typed up one last email. Nothing dramatic, just the receipts, the hotel booking, the Instagram screenshot, a note that said, sharing this because I think HR should be aware before this becomes a liability. I didn't think they'd act fast. I figured it'd take weeks. Nope. 2 days later, I got word from Shelby. Josh was let go. Dana was put on leave. An internal review was in progress. She called me 6 times that night. No voicemail, just missed calls. Then a text. You're trying to destroy me. No, Dana. You did that all by yourself. After Dana's leave of absence hit, everything went quiet. No posts, no texts, no late-night drama outside my friend's apartment. It felt like the eye of the storm, and I knew her next move wouldn't be loud. It'd be desperate. I was right. A week later, I got a letter in the mail. From her lawyer. She was threatening to sue me for emotional damages and, wait for it, unauthorized use of shared wedding funds. I read it 3 times just to be sure I wasn't losing my mind. Dana, the woman who sat on another man's lap without her ring, paid for a hotel under my account, lied to vendors, and tried to gaslight everyone around her, was now playing the legal victim. Her lawyer claimed I unilaterally emptied the wedding fund and inflicted public humiliation. That part made me laugh, because I had everything documented. Proof it was my account. Proof she never contributed more than 8% of the balance. Proof she accessed my info without permission after I disappeared. And yeah, proof she cheated. My lawyer's response was short and lethal. We welcome a formal lawsuit. All financial records, communications, and evidence of misconduct are already prepared for court. Any further threats will be treated as harassment. We never heard from her lawyer again, but the damage to Dana was already done. Word got around fast in her professional circles. Between HR opening a case, her being publicly caught in a company violation, and the wedding meltdown, her name was radioactive. Even her friends started distancing. Shelby messaged me again. She's trying to say you manipulated everything, but no one's buying it anymore. She's spiraling. And Josh, he completely disappeared. No social media, no job. Rumor had it he moved back in with his parents 2 towns over. Dana tried one last trick. She posted a TikTok, one of those quiet ones with sad music and text overlays. It was a montage of her and I during the good days. Photos for vacations, brunches, the engagement. Captioned, "Don't take love for granted. It can disappear without warning." The comment section wasn't what she expected. Girl, you were on another man's lap. Where was your ring, though? Delete this. You played yourself. She deleted it after a day. And that was the last public thing she ever posted. But Reddit, we're not done. Because after all the legal threats, the job fallout, the public pity games, Dana still had one final card to play, and it was the dirtiest one of all. A month of silence. That's how long it lasted before Dana pulled her final move. I was back to working full-time, focusing on myself. New apartment, new city. Fresh start. Then I got a message from an unknown number. Simple. Chilling. You should check the Facebook group. I had no idea what they meant. Until I looked. Dana had created a private support group called Healing for Narcissistic Abuse, My Story. Over 800 members. And right at the top, her pin post. I was engaged as someone who made me feel safe until the mask slipped. Financial manipulation, gaslighting, abandonment trauma. What I went through is something I'm only now beginning to unpack. And guess whose photo was blurred out in the background? Mine. Our engagement shoot. Cropped, muted, but unmistakable. She weaponized the language of trauma to create a false narrative. Turned cheating into her being abused. Turned walking away from her lies into me being emotionally dangerous. People in the comments were buying it. Women sharing stories. Strangers offering support. Dana replying to each one like a wounded survivor. And it worked for a while. She started building clout in that space. Videos. Podcasts. She even got invited onto a panel about healing from toxic love. I didn't say a word. Didn't comment. Didn't reach out. Instead, I waited. Because here's the thing. When you build influence on lies, all it takes is one crack. And that crack came 2 weeks later when one of her own followers messaged me. Anonymous profile. No bio. But the message was gold. She's lying. I used to work with her. I know about Josh. I've got screenshots. She sent them all. Text between Dana and Josh. Her bragging about getting away with it. Her saying, as long as Eric stays quiet, I control the story. That was enough. I sent everything, the texts, the screenshots, the timeline, to a blogger who specialized in exposing fake influencers. Not a huge name, but respected. They ran the story 3 days later. Title: The Engagement Lie. When clout turns to fiction. Dana's group? Gone. Podcast deal? Canceled. Her new TikTok? Wiped. And suddenly, I wasn't the narcissist anymore. I was the guy who stayed silent while she tried to build fame off a fake trauma arc. But the best part? She finally messaged me again. After all of it. After losing everything. Can we please talk? I just want to understand why you hate me so much. I stared at that message for a while. Then I blocked her. For the last time. But the story's not over just yet. Because what I did next, with the last bit of wedding money, that was my closure. After blocking Dana for good, I sat down with what was left of the wedding fund. A little over $8,000. Could have spent it on something flashy. Could have flown somewhere again. But I had a better idea. I donated it. Every cent. To 3 women's shelters. 1 mental health initiative. And a nonprofit that specializes in legal aid for people dealing with actual emotional abuse. I didn't post about it. Didn't make a video. Didn't tag anyone. Just quietly handed it off to people who actually needed healing. Because closure isn't revenge. It's walking away with your dignity while they're still stuck rewriting their story. A year later, Dana's name still floats around in small circles, usually followed by rolls or whispers. Josh. Ghost. Her followers? Long gone. Me? I'm good. New apartment. New job. And finally, peace. The ring? Sold. Used that money to cover someone else's tuition. Felt better than any "I told you so" ever could. So Reddit, that's it. That's how I went from wedding plans and Pinterest boards to passports and silence. Not by accident. Not by weakness. But by choosing myself. And if someone's reading this going through something similar, yeah, you're allowed to walk away. Even if they beg. Even if they lie. Especially when they lie.